Hi, Joe Cerrone.
Neil Rosen.
Welcome to CAD 134, Basic AutoCAD for Interior Design. Today is November 7th, and we're going to go through the basic policy and procedures for the course. Textbook is AutoCAD 2015 for interior design and planning. You might say, well, why are we using an older textbook? The textbook is really well laid out. It has a lot of very good assignments. And so we've kind of kept this book and we use this book along with an architectural desktop textbook. So the first part of the course will be going through basic two-dimensional AutoCAD. And then the second part of the course will be looking at architectural desktop. Back to the top, syllabus. So here's our syllabus. Best way to catch Al and I is on D2L with an email, and you can get those by just clicking on, or get to us just by clicking on the message, and then we'll get a little orange dot that'll tell us we have a message, and we'll get back to you. Course is a CAD course, computer-aided design with interior design applications. We'll do floor plans, lighting, electrical, elevations, and we do a lot of the technique. How do you set up a dimension style? How do you set up text heights? Things that are standardized throughout the course. Learning objectives. We do a lot of 2D, we do some 3D. We love to do 3D. We'll look at these project-based classes and putting together a portfolio of drawings. Academic integrity kind of speaks for itself. Don't get caught up in this. If you need an extension, just ask for an extension and Al can get back to you on that. We have an outline of topics. We'll take a look at that, and methods of instructions will be basically workshop orientated, where we'll go through, present the material, how to draw these things, and then we'll record how we do that using CAD. Course can be taught media-based, face-to-face. Here's the ISBN number. You're welcome to get the book from wherever you like. Straightforward grading scale, 90, 80, 70, 60. And it's based on a total point. If it's late, you will incur a late fee, late penalty. So request if you need it. If you have any documented or undocumented, if you just have any special needs or just having a bad day, Oakton has a lot of resources for providing students with support. So if you do need any assistance, that's in the syllabi, and you can talk to somebody about that. Back to the main splash page. Outline of topics. So we'll go through chapter by chapter. And so the first week we'll go through chapter 1 and chapter 2. And then we'll just continue on through these chapters as we go through. And every chapter has exercises at the end of it, and we'll go through and do those exercises. So we'll go through orientation, how to draw with AutoCAD, basic settings, commands. We'll do some conference rooms and lecture rooms, just floor plans. You're going to have a meeting in this room. We do this all the time. In fact, we have a lot of facilities people that take this class because we do the room layouts with CAD, and with all this social distancing, they have to make sure everybody's 6 feet apart. And so they've been busy with us. Text, drawing floor plans, dimension and area calculations, midterm, fall, Thanksgiving break. And we'll make this project orientated. And so as we get farther on down the line, the projects get bigger and bigger. And I think we were doing like an office floor plan.
Yeah, office floor plan or bank, either way we want to do it.
So that's the outline of topics. How to install the software. If you have not installed the software, let us know. Looks like we got to fix that. And then chapter 1 and chapter 2 PDFs. So this is the lecture material, and we won't go through the lecture during our 10-minute Zoom. It usually winds up a little longer than 10 minutes, but we will cover this today. So you're welcome to go through and use the PowerPoint settings. It's a little bigger, it's a little easier to read, and it just kind of goes through the nuts and bolts of it, you know, how to use the commands, how to use the mouse, toolbars, etc. And then the chapter 2 PDF. More of the same, kind of going through chapter 2, the objectives. Anything in big print like this is command orientated. And so we'll go through things like grid display and the proper way to use that. We'll go through zooming commands, using drawing templates, being able to set things up and read different file formats so that you can exchange those. And so again, you know, a lot of the, you know, just sort of the CAD manager kind of way of making sure that all the drawings kind of look the same, they use the same colors, they use the same layers. We standardize, and that's what Al and I are good at. Let's see. And then here's our objectives. If we look at the objectives for chapter 1, describe AutoCAD user interface, modify and save workspaces. And then chapter 2, we start getting into a little bit more work with setting up the drawings, units, limits, grids. Again, how to make everybody's drawings look like everybody works for the same company, the Joe and Al company. And then as we go through saving and these other different commands. Alrighty. So let's go back and see if I have the right ones here. That's that. That's our textbook. I think you can get a rental for $40. As we look at the calendar, Al likes to post everything in here. Al does most of the D2L coordination. I'll do the lectures. And so chapter 1 is going to be due. And I think this should be chapter 2, Al. I think because chapter 1 doesn't have an assignment in it. It's just interface. And chapter 2. So we may bump this around a little bit because we'll go through chapter 2 today. And chapter 2, there's somebody waiting. I'm going to get them in. Chapter 2 looks like this, where we'll go through and create these different just shapes. And then we'll look at some of these other design aspects and how you go through and work with the CAD system to create those. All right, let's go back here, move my display over. Great. All right, so calendar will announce when things are due. And when they are due, what you'll do is you'll turn those things into the assignments folder. And assignments are worth 30 points. And what you can do is you can go to, let's just go to the chapter 2 because those are the ones on my screen. And you'll submit your drawings. Here's how you will be graded. You'll be graded on a 30-point scale. There's 5 of these different areas. Completeness of the drawings, graphical accuracy, using proper design rules. Are you using the standards and conventions for part callouts, floor plans, dimensioning? And then basically those areas. We'll give you feedback on that information. You can add a file. And when you add a file, we'll upload that. And then we can go through and we can select that file. I only have a few classes I'm teaching. Let's see here. And let's see. So if I decide to add a file, and the book kind of goes through all these different file types, like things like a backup file and how to restore a backup file by renaming it. Here's like one of our bank floor plans. This is a really cool drawing. And so when I add that in there, it tells me I'm okay to add it. And then if you have any comments, so for example, you need some help,
Just make sure you do not say grade it. You say, hey, can I have some help on it? Please don't grade it. And we will look at it, put information for you, and then send it back in. So it's a two-way street. We use the assignment as both ways, grading and also help for you.
Right. And so this is really how we do support for the students in the class, because virtually we can just put these things into the assignments folder, we submit it, and then we have the file and we can work with you on that. And so it will tell you that you have submitted. It usually gives you a flag that tells you you've submitted it, maybe not. But that's how that works. I'm admitting one more person to the room.
It will give you a number indicating that you submitted it, and the number is for you to keep. So if something happens during this course of electronic or whatever else, or the system crashes or whatever else, you can prove we've received it.
Right. So that's how you'll submit your work. You'll submit your drawings to the assignment folder per the calendar outline when they're due. And then in the outline of topics, it tells you what we're working on, but you can really see everything on the main splash page. We just go chapter by chapter. And then as we go through, we will have some quizzes and exams. I think we just have a midterm quiz and a final exam. Is that right, Al?
Well, we have some others, but we did not load them for a while yet. We want to make sure you're comfortable with the software and also how to do what we're showing you how to do. And then we'll activate some quizzes for you. Because in the chapter itself, there are quizzes that you have to do.
And you'll be in charge of that, Al. So just let them know what quizzes are and how to take those.
If you go back up into content up there, and that's our meat and potatoes, Matt saying. Everything Joe has just gone over is there, plus more. So you can see our course syllabus, the sequence of titles right there, topics. The free software is up there. If you go back, how to get to the free software. Then right below it, you will see is this architectural template paper. If you just click on it one time, that gives you the B-size architectural one and the ARC startup, which cannot be used yet. That's going to be for the second half of the class.
Yeah, the ARC startup has a lot of built-in tools. And I think you have like a big symbols library in there of cabinets and things like that.
That's correct.
So when I open a file like this on CAD,
And hopefully you have CAD open at the same time.
yeah. The difficulty with teaching in this environment is you get these windows on top of windows, and sometimes, so when I open that file, this is the name of it, drawing one, and it was a template, and it's just a grid paper. And we'll talk more about that when we're out of our short video meeting. So we'll use these templates.
And then right below us is CAD templates. We've added some other ones. You have the zip file. That has tons of different files for you to use, templates that you would like to look at, maybe use in your commercial business if you have one. So use those also.
Right, Al's been doing this as well as I have for quite some time now, and we've got quite a collection of content for you. So you're in luck. We have tons of things to give you for the course from a standpoint of electronic templates and symbols. I don't know, Al, you only got like 50 drawing templates in here. It's quite a bit.
I figured it'd be longer than that, but that's okay.
Yeah. So those are the CAD templates. And here's the textbook. Okay, we put the PDFs in there. So most of them are in there, but I don't think we're supposed to. I think we should have a textbook. You should purchase the book. But if you haven't got the book yet, you can use the PDFs that we have put in there for you. And if we look at the textbook, chapter 1, Introduction to the Interface, we'll go through that after our Zoom meeting. Basically how to start the CAD system and open drawings, templates. And let's see what else here.
I think that's it right now, Joe. If you want to go back to the splash page.
You got it.
And right there it says, and Joe, I like this idea. If our students cannot learn the way we're teaching, we must teach in the way our students can learn. So for some reason or another, what it means is basically, hey, if we're going too fast, too slow, you have a different way of learning, or maybe we have to go and do something a little different, please let us know.
That's right. Al's been teaching for a long time. We both have teaching experience. I taught high school for 5 years, and I really liked it. It was great. And Al, how many years have you been teaching high school and grade school?
A lot.
A lot. So we have an idea of how that works. Alrighty. So with that, I'm going to end our 10-minute Zoom meeting, and then I'll start another meeting to go over the content. This ends our recording.
Is there a link for